Prime Minister brings plight of small island developing states to G7 summit, seeks out partnership with Norway, Argentina and Kenya, and announces the rollout of a road safety public education campaign. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called for greater partnership and cooperation between small island developing states and developed countries to tackle issues hindering growth. Mr. Holness made the call during his address to the G7 Summit's outreach session on Saturday.
The best partnership that the more developed countries could seek to strike with small island developing states is to be more facilitating of our economic growth and trade and technology transfer, and developing a global system that is more understanding of the issues faced by small island developing states. And in the case of Jamaica, to recognize the issues that we have with high debt. And I think there is a high level of receptivity, but we have to continue to carry the message in every forum in which we get the opportunity.
The G7 grouping, which represents the world's most advanced economies, met on June 8 and 9 in Quebec, Canada. Jamaica was among a group of 16 countries and organizations invited to have frank discussions about global challenges, including the role of oceans and maritime resources in supporting economies. Discussions were also had about addressing plastic pollution, building resilient coasts and coastal communities, as well as illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. Prime Minister Andrew Holness used his participation at the G7 summit to strengthen Jamaica's cooperation with other countries and international organizations. The Prime Minister met with his Canadian counterpart to discuss environment and climate change issues. Mr. Holness also met with Canada's Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. On the margins of the summit, Jamaica's head of government also held talks with the Prime Minister of Norway and the Presidents of Argentina and Kenya. During talks with Kenya's Uhuru Kenyatta, discussions centered on trade, sports, culture and tourism. Mr. Holness also met with the heads of international organizations during his attendance at the G7 summit. They include head of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Angel Gurria, World Bank CEO Kristalina Georgieva, and the International Monetary Fund's Christine Lagarde.
Where I stand is in the intersection of where we see ourselves and exactly where we are. And my job is to move the society from where we are to where we want to be.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is pledged to members of the Jamaican diaspora in Canada Thursday. OPM Live Canada was held at the Praise Cathedral Worship Centre in Mississauga, Ontario. In addition to updating the gathering on work being done to improve the economy, employment and infrastructure, Mr. Holness also shared positive news on the management of crime.
Overall, crime is declining compared to last year. All major crimes, including murders, have declined compared to this time last year. We will not have overnight solutions because the crime problem is a long-term problem. It's a problem long in coming, and it will take the long-term commitment of the government to get on top of the problem.
Jamaica is open for your business.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness's invitation to investors attending a Jamper luncheon in Toronto, Canada, Thursday. It was held, among other things, to promote the Jamaica Investment Forum planned for June 12 and 14 in Montego Bay. At the Canadian Forum, Mr. Holness assured the business leaders that significant strides had been taken in making Jamaica attractive for investment opportunities. Among them, cutting red tape in the public sector, marked improvement in physical infrastructure, the BPO industry, tourism and real estate sectors, and investment in renewable energy. Mr. Holness said investments had also been made in human resource training and Jamaica's national security.
Plan Secure Jamaica is a comprehensive plan to bring not just the crime issue under control, but to increase Jamaica's security as a nation state, to improve the security of our borders, our ports, our maritime space and our airspace, to improve security around our infrastructure, and to ensure that we are resilient, that we can recover quickly from shocks, so that the investments that you make are well protected and well secured.
Before he left Jamaica for Canada, Prime Minister Andrew Holness toured roadworks in the Kingston metropolitan area. The roadways form part of the $170 million legacy projects under the Major Infrastructure Development Program. In Kingston, they include Mandela Highway, Constant Spring, Hagley Park and Barbican roadways. Mr. Holness said investments in the thoroughfares would increase productivity by reducing travel time. In the building of the roadways, he said upgrades had been done to the sewerage and water mains, drainage and telecommunications infrastructure.
They are increasing the number of lanes. They are putting in modern road furniture. They are putting in modern technology for traffic enforcement. They are having better surfaces. They are also built taking into consideration the disabled community.
The Prime Minister says a public education campaign will be rolled out to help citizens properly use the upgraded roadways. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.